Well, the election is 2 days away and everybody's in an uproar over the polls. Is Trump gonna win? Is Kamala gonna win? Is it gonna be a landslide? What's gonna happen? Let me take you on a walk down memory lane. Back in 2016, almost every single poll said Hillary Clinton was gonna win. She was gonna be a feminist icon. She was gonna shatter the glass ceiling, even though she takes money from countries where women don't have rights, but nonetheless, she was gonna be this feminist icon and make her way to the White House. Well, lo and behold, a week later, Hillary was hiking in the woods in Chappaqua, New York, and Trump was on his way to the inauguration, so every pollster got it wrong. I'm the type of person, I like to look at polls for fun. I like to see what the top issues are to voters. I like to see if there are any trends, but I always go with my gut instinct. My gut instinct, talking to friends, family, folks online, people at the grocery store, traveling across the country, that turns out more accurate than any poll I've seen. And right now, while everyone's going boo-hoo-hoo, Mary Lou who, guess what? Polls don't vote, people vote. So if you don't like the way the polls look, go out there and make your voices heard. There's one poll that's caused a lot of commotion in the last 24 hours online, and that is the Iowa Des Moines Register poll by Ann Selzer. In this poll, they have Kamala Harris winning Iowa by 3 points, but another poll just came out that showed Donald Trump sweeping Iowa, so nobody knows what to believe. Now, this woman in Iowa, she is beloved by Kamala Harris supporters right now. The Trump supporters, they absolutely despise her. They say she's been paid off. Me, whenever I defend Donald Trump, people say I'm a paid shill as well, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she's probably not paid, but this poll might be an outlier. This sweet lady has been absolutely eviscerated all over the internet this past weekend. I don't think she's being paid by Kamala Harris. She has a couch from IKEA and no artwork on the wall, so something tells me she's not getting those DNC checks. I will say though, Ann Selzer, not to be confused with Alka-Seltzer, she was being interviewed this morning and she didn't know the difference between the D and the R and the crosstabs of this data. Take a look and then we'll talk.
I'm trying, this is in a format that's a little difficult for me to see. What does this D represent and the R represent?
D.
When she said, what do the D and the R represent? I wanted to give her a lifeline and be like, not the Dominican Republic, sweetheart. Do I think Kamala Harris is gonna win Iowa by 3 points? Absolutely not. I would be very shocked, but we can't accuse everybody who comes up with inconvenient data of being paid off. The one thing I will say about Iowa, as well as other states, we are seeing more women breaking for Kamala Harris, even in the last few weeks. If we look at Iowa, on July 29th, they had their 6-week abortion ban instated, so that could be affecting the poll as well. You guys know I just call it like I see it. I've never taken a dollar from Trump or the RNC, the DNC, Kamala Harris. The only thing I'm beholden to is the truth. I think a lot of these pollsters are having a hard time coming up with accurate data. Let me tell you why. On the one side, we have Donald Trump, who's an unorthodox political figure. He was a builder, he had a reality show, and he made it all the way to the White House. So we have a former president running for president again. On the other side, we have Kamala Harris, who a lot of people feel like they don't know. She was slotted in the last 100 days. They had the DNC in August, which was not that long ago. Joe Biden was still running until July 21st. So when you have two candidates who could not be more different, one candidate a lot of people feel like they don't know, one candidate who's very outside the box, he's not from the swamp, he's a political outsider, I think it's hard to take accurate polls. When it was Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, those polls could not be more accurate. I will say, as I have said for the last 2 years, women, independent women, suburban women in swing states, they will determine this election. In 2022, millions of people were talking about a red wave. There's going to be a red wave, but women stopped that red wave because they were not happy with the Dobbs decision. Miss Kamalamity here, is she a genius? No. Has she overseen the worst immigration crisis in American history? Yes. Does she have many flaws? Absolutely. But if abortion is your top issue, if you're a one-issue voter, you're going for Kamala Harris. The Trump campaign has deliberately doubled and tripled down on low-propensity male voters to try to make up the deficit with all the women, but guess what? Women vote more than men do historically. So it's anybody's guess what's going to happen on Tuesday night. Stop paying attention to all these polls. Stop putting stock in them. Trump might win in a landslide. Kamala, she could eke out a victory as well. The last thing I'll say is this. I take my responsibility as an independent journalist and independent media very seriously. I'm not paid off by a media conglomerate. I'm not paid off by the RNC or the DNC. I'm going to be here through the election and beyond, giving you the news you're not going to get in the mainstream media. I'm also not bought off by any polling company. All right, my friends, thanks for liking and following. Drop a comment. Tell me how you feel about everything going on right now. What do you think about these polls? What do you think about Donald Trump in the closing days? What do you think about Kamala Harris? Who do you think is going to win? I will see you on the next one. Bye.